Welcome back to my channel. In this video we're going to do a review on the S25 Ultra, not the Samsung S25 Ultra but the Itel S25 Ultra. And yes, this is real, so let's get through this review and see what's good and what's bad about this phone and if it's worth buying right now in 2024. The first thing that you're going to look at is going to be the unboxing experience, and the first thing that you get in box is going to be a useless user manual, even the warranty information. Of course that is important, but still it's not the major part of the unboxing. Now the other thing that you're going to get after the user manual is going to be a screen protector. After that you're also going to get the phone. After that you're going to get a case. After that you're going to get the C2C type cable and also the charging brick. So that's all you get in that phone, even though this phone is a very mid-range phone, but still you're getting a lot from the unboxing experience itself. Next up, let's talk about the build quality and the screen itself. The first thing you need to know is that this phone is very slim. This phone is 6.9 millimeters. It also weighs 163 grams. In terms of durability, you're going to find out that this phone went through a series of over 25,000 tests, with the rolling machines being tested 500 times, pressure tests being 2,000 times, and the micro drop test being 25,000 times. So you might think that this is just a regular Itel phone, but this is truly a flagship on a budget. Another thing they actually tested is going to be the temperature. This phone was tested on 70 degrees Celsius, which means that is a large amount of heat, and even was tested under minus 40 degrees, which means that whether you put that phone in hot or cold conditions, it will survive as long as you're not in a volcano. Now let's talk about the screen and see what we get from this phone. The first thing that you need to know is that this phone is a 6.78 inch 3D curved AMOLED display, which is actually protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 7i, and it also goes all the way up to 120 Hz. In terms of the brightness itself, this has a peak brightness of 1400 nits, which is going to be visible in sunlight and also in the darkness, obviously. Let's move on. The other issue is the AMOLED display itself. It says to be going to be having vibrant colors, and I think that is why this phone is actually a bit expensive as compared to other phones that Itel has been making over a long period of time. That's why we see Itel actually bragging that this phone can actually produce over 1.07 billion colors, and don't forget that it has a 94% screen to body ratio. Other features you're actually getting on this phone is going to be the wet touch display and also the in-display fingerprint sensor, which is going to be very useful. This phone also has an IP64 dust and splash resistance, which means that you don't have to worry getting this phone in dusty conditions or even if it falls in water. Now let's talk about the battery capacity. The first thing that you need to know is that this phone is a 5000 mAh battery, which is actually been tested and has an original capacity of 4900 milliamps. The other thing that you need to know is that this comes with a Type-C charger, which goes all the way up to 18 watts, which means that this phone is charging under 18 watts fast charging, and I think that's going to be helpful to almost everyone. Another feature that is going to be very helpful to you is going to be the bypass charging. Bypass charging technology works like this: if you're playing a game or watching movies, the power that comes from the charging cable itself doesn't go directly through the battery, and this reduces the amount of heat that you're going to be getting when you're playing games or watching movies on your phone for long periods of time. This means that this bypass charging technology is going to allow you to have a heat-free usage of this phone. In terms of performance, we're going to first need to know about the variants that come on this phone. This phone has 3 variants, which are the 512GB variant, the 128GB variant, and the 256GB variant. The same thing about all these variants is that all of them actually come with 8GB of RAM and also with an extended virtual RAM of 8GB, which means that all in all, these phones come with their respective storages and also with 16GB of RAM. This phone also comes with Android 14 and Itel OS 14.5. Android 14 can actually be upgradable up to Android 15, and they're actually assuring you that they are going to be supporting software updates up to 2 years. And this is actually the funny point at this point, because what Itel is saying is that this phone is durable for up to 5 years. So if a person using this phone is going to be durable enough to reach 5 years, doesn't that mean that the software updates also needs to be over 2 years, since a person is going to be using this phone for a long period of time? That's just my thoughts, but I don't know about you. In terms of the chipset, this phone comes with the Unisoc T620, which is of medium performance. The benchmark scores are not that bad at all, and when you're playing Call of Duty Mobile is working on medium performance and on a high frame rate. So the game plays smoothly. PUBG Mobile, I haven't seen anyone playing it, so far all we know is that Call of Duty can be handled by the Itel S25 Ultra. Now let's talk about the camera specs, because I know most people, this is one of the issues that most people are concerned with. The first thing that you need to know is that the Itel S25 Ultra doesn't have a triple camera setup. It doesn't have it. It looks like that, but it's not what is actually going on. Now let me show you the design itself. First of all, at the top we are getting a 50 megapixel rear camera. Next to it we get the macro lens, and at the bottom we're getting an RGB light. So this doesn't have a triple camera setup, it has a double camera setup, which is just the rear camera itself and the macro lens. Next up, you also need to know that the front camera is a 32 megapixel front camera, and I think so far the camera specs are pretty decent, and from the samples that I've seen, I think this is actually a good performance from the camera of a budget smartphone. But in terms of the video quality itself, the video quality is going to be of low quality because of the low light, and it also lacks stability. So far from the camera samples and the video quality, I have showed you my opinions. Tell me what you think in the comments. Other features include NFC, IPv64, water resistance rating, and others that we're going to look through in the future. So far I don't know any other extra feature that I know of. So at the end of the day, what are we getting from this phone? You're getting a decent camera performance, decent gaming performance, good battery life. You're also getting a very bright screen, over 1000 nits. You're also getting a 1080p resolution, which is very good. You're also getting an AMOLED display, which is going to bring you vibrant colors of over a counted amount of 1.07 billion colors, which some of them you're not going to be exploring even if you use the phone in 5 years. So far all I know is that this is a very decent phone and it's not that bad, and you're getting all these features for somewhere around $215 to $220. I hope you like this review, and please like and subscribe to the channel. We're actually at 85 subscribers and we are moving fast. Thank you so much for the support, and thank you so much for the love. Peace.